going on, Jerome's? So a couple weeks ago when Minnesota fighting Vikings superstar wide receiver Justin freaking Jefferson unfortunately went down with a hamstring issue, placed on injured reserve, and the thinking was like, okay, so has to miss a minimum of 4 games and get that hamstring 100% and then good to go, and then return for the rest of the season and then continue being the greatest non-quarterback in the National Football League. Just the most valuable, absolutely getting after it. But Adam Schefter, ESPN, who's probably still bitter about Michigan, but he chimed in, which, yeah. All right, so this is what he said. Vikings Pro Bowl wide receiver Justin... Why do you say Pro Bowl? I mean, he's clearly an all-pro receiver, but again, it's just the national media, Jerome haircuts, just taking slight digs at the Vikings, whatever. Vikings all-pro wide receiver Justin Jefferson is eligible to come off the injured reserve this week from a hamstring injury that was expected to sideline him 4 to 6 weeks. But Jefferson still has to meet with the doctors. The team has to decide how it wants to handle Jefferson, and there currently continues to be uncertainty about his status per sources, despite the fact that he could be activated as early as this week. Now, reading as uncertainty does not mean good, does not mean bad. You just really don't know. And I know that people will make a big to-do about Jefferson, walking around moving fine on the sidelines or hyping up his teammates pregame and all that stuff. But big time difference between walking around with a hamstring injury, which we've had before. I mean, you can walk, but in terms of going 100 miles an hour and cutting and doing everything that a wide receiver needs to do, that's completely night and day, right? So, and also with hamstrings, they have to be almost 100% before you come back. Otherwise, you do risk potential to re-injure, which would not be good. And JJ is eligible to return Week 10 against the Saints, but like it was earlier reported, 4 to 6 week injury, and I don't know, I'm sure that he's getting the best medical care possible. I'm sure that he's sitting in bariatric chambers. Is that the word? Like night and day, trying to get this hamstring good to go. But could it be a spot where, yes, he's eligible to return Week 10 versus the Saints? Maybe they get him into practice. Maybe they have him doing some life stuff, but maybe they pause his return until Week 11, Week 12. I think it's possible. Plus, I mean, does the Vikings season and the way that it goes the rest of the year, without Kirk Cousins, does that factor in? Because, I mean, the Vikings with Jaron Hall, I think, will be just fine, but in the very minuscule chance that they aren't, does that impact how they handle this going forward? Now, with Jefferson, he's a gamer. He absolutely is. And plus, at the end of the day, all-time records and stuff, like if he's 100% late in the season, and even if the Vikings asses in the jackpot, I mean, he wants to be out there. Like, he wants to put up those numbers. He wants to help this team win. And obviously, it really sucks losing the best wide receiver in the game, but also Jordan Addison rising up has certainly been a bit of a silver lining, and it's clear that the Vikings have 2 aces now, wide receivers. I'm not saying, no, it's way too hot of a take to say, well, Jordan Addison is a good, so now you can trade Jefferson. No, you can have both of them. You have 2 wide receivers at the same time, man. Absolutely. But him going forward, like, his extension does factor in. Kwesi did shine some light on it during his presser last week, saying that doing extensions with 2 years left is kind of tough. It's really tough to gauge the market. It's really tough to really find true value and find an equilibrium. But I think that Jefferson obviously deserves to be the highest paid receiver in NFL history. The Vikings can do it, even if they do bring back Kirk Cousins, even if they do bring back Daniil, and also, I mean, Darisaw set to get paid too. So a lot of money flying around, but Justin Jefferson should see a significant portion of it. He should be in purple a long time. But also, with this injury, get him back to 100%. Like, it would be so horrible just for morale-wise, both for him and the team and the fans, if he came back too early, and nah. But your thoughts are thoughts. Adam Schefter calls Justin Jefferson's status uncertain. Let us know your thoughts and our thoughts in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Don't support the work. Put a little something in the Venmo. But till next time, Skull Production Value.